Shedeur Sanders slips to fourth on Brown's depth chart as critics say he's collapsing under pressure. Once touted as a surefire first-round pick, Shedeur Sanders now finds himself fighting for relevance on the Cleveland Browns roster. Despite an impressive college resume and an enormous social media following, the son of NFL Hall of Famer Deion Sanders is sitting as the fourth-string quarterback heading into the 2025 season, and critics are not holding back. From college star to NFL underdog, Shedeur Sanders' steep fall surprises fans and analysts. Sanders' fall in the NFL draft shocked fans and analysts alike. He was projected to go shortly after Cam Ward, but was ultimately passed over by 31 teams. Even the Browns, who eventually picked him in the fifth round, chose Oregon Ducks QB Dillon Gabriel 2 rounds earlier, making it clear Shedeur wasn't the first choice, even within his own team. Now he's competing in a crowded quarterback room that includes seasoned veterans Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, along with fellow rookie Gabriel. According to team sources, the frontrunner for QB1 is Flacco, who led the Browns to the playoffs in 2023. Meanwhile, Sanders remains on the sidelines, raising questions about whether he can live up to the hype he once carried. Lavish lifestyle clashes with underwhelming depth chart status. Off the field, Sanders continues to make headlines, not always for the right reasons. Fox Sports analyst Jason McIntyre didn't mince words, saying, despite all the hype around Shedeur, he's the only Browns quarterback not training with the first team. The guy's motto is, "Be legendary." He's throwing these extremely lavish NFL draft parties, and he's fourth on the depth chart without a doubt. The criticism isn't just about performance, it's about perception. Many are questioning Sanders' commitment and focus, especially when his off-field activities seem to overshadow his current on-field struggles. Sanders isn't without credentials. He led all Big 12 quarterbacks in completion percentage, 74%, and threw for over 4,100 yards with 37 touchdowns at Colorado. Those stats earned him national recognition, but they haven't translated into a strong NFL start, at least not yet. Also read, $750,000 gone. Lamar Jackson's bold OTA decision leads to major financial hit. Is there more to the story? Supporters argue he just needs time to develop, especially in a system with experienced players ahead of him. But in a league where scrutiny is relentless, Shedeur Sanders will need more than numbers and a famous name. He'll need to silence critics the old-fashioned way, through performance, patience, and persistence. The Cleveland sky was gray, the kind of gray that seeps into your bones and whispers of endings. It was mid-June, just a few weeks into minicamp, but already the pressure was boiling inside the Browns' locker room. Headlines were swirling. Whispers had turned to roars. And Shedeur Sanders, once hailed as the future, the prodigy, the prime heir, was now sitting fourth on the depth chart. Fourth. Behind a journeyman, behind an undrafted rookie, behind a veteran with a repaired shoulder and a chip on his shoulder the size of Ohio. For a quarterback once groomed under the high-beam lights of college football and the even brighter shadow of his father, Deion "Primetime" Sanders, this was not just a slip, it was a collapse, or at least, that's what the critics were saying. They said he couldn't read NFL defenses. They said the moment was too big, the lights too hot, the pocket too fast. They clipped and posted every overthrow, every missed read, every failed scramble like it was gospel. On Twitter, Shedeur's name trended with phrases like "bust in the making" and "Prime's failed project." What they didn't see, or chose to ignore, was what went on after practice, when most of the team had already peeled off their cleats and headed for the showers. Shedeur stayed, alone, throwing into the nets, repeating mechanics, studying film with a stubborn fire in his eyes. Pressure doesn't create diamonds, one sports radio host barked. It exposes the ones who were just rhinestones all along. But pressure, real pressure, is something Shedeur had known his entire life. He was born into it, the son of a legend, the focus of cameras from age 10. He'd been expected to not just follow in Prime's footsteps, but to leap over them. Now the NFL wasn't giving him any special treatment. No highlight reels here, just cold cuts and brutal honesty. Coach Stevenson was quiet during press conferences, tight-lipped and reserved. "We're evaluating everyone," he'd say when asked about the depth chart. "We go with who gives us the best chance to win." But privately, there was concern. "He's got the tools," the offensive coordinator muttered, watching practice film. "But he's hesitating. He's thinking too much. You can't process and perform at the same time in this league. It has to be instinct."